Voyagers of the Eternal Light and the Starship that never returned. In the year 3245, humanity had spread across dozens of star systems. The Terran Alliance had constructed vast colonies on distant planets, yet the deepest mysteries of the cosmos remained untouched. Among the explorers, a team of scientists and adventurers prepared for a journey unlike any other. Their destination: the Eternal Light, a mysterious star whose radiance defied all known physics. Captain Aeliana Voss stood on the observation deck of the Starship Odyssey, staring at the pale blue glow of the Eternal Light through the ship's transparent shield. Her hands rested on the railing, steady but tense. She had led many missions, but something about this journey felt different. The star seemed alive, pulsing with a rhythm that made her heart beat faster. "Captain," said Lieutenant Kiran Elad, approaching her. "All systems report nominal. The crew is ready." Aeliana nodded. "We leave for the outer orbit in 2 hours. Make sure every sensor is calibrated. I want to know everything about this star before we get too close." Below decks, the crew moved with quiet precision. Engineers checked the engines, biologists prepared samples for potential new lifeforms, and navigators recalculated trajectories. Among them was Dr. Aeliana Voss, a physicist whose theories had first predicted the existence of the Eternal Light. She worked tirelessly on the quantum sensors, her eyes reflecting the faint glow of her instruments. "This star," she whispered to herself, "it's unlike anything we've ever seen. If my calculations are correct, it could rewrite the rules of energy in the universe." Meanwhile, rumors of the ship's past haunted the crew. The Odyssey was not the first mission sent to study the Eternal Light. Decades ago, a ship called the Starward had vanished near the star, leaving behind only faint signals and mysterious debris. Its disappearance remained unsolved, and many feared history might repeat itself. As the final preparations were made, the crew gathered for a briefing. Captain Voss addressed them with calm authority. "We are about to venture where no human has returned from," she said. "The Eternal Light may hold secrets we cannot yet imagine. Our mission is not only to explore but to ensure humanity learns what lies beyond. Stay sharp, trust your training, and look out for each other." A murmur of determination ran through the room. Fear was present, yes, but excitement and curiosity burned brighter. Every member knew the risks, yet all had chosen to be here. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. The Odyssey hummed quietly as it drifted toward its final launch point. Soon, the journey into the unknown would begin. And with it, the story of the starship that might never return, but would change everything it touched. The Odyssey roared to life as its engines flared, lifting off from the orbital station with precision. Outside, the stars seemed to stretch into streaks as the ship entered faster than light travel. Inside the control room, the crew held steady, watching the holographic maps shift and bend as they navigated toward the Eternal Light. Lieutenant Kiran Elad monitored the ship's trajectory. "We are on course. The quantum shields are stable, and propulsion is holding at optimal levels," he reported. Captain Voss nodded, her gaze fixed on the glowing pin that represented the Eternal Light. "Good. Keep us steady. We don't want any surprises this early." As hours stretched into days, the Odyssey approached the outer reaches of a star's influence. Strange phenomena began to appear. Lights danced on the edges of the sensors, readings fluctuated, and gravitational waves bent the ship in ways the crew could barely explain. Dr. Aeliana Voss studied the readings with fascination. "These energy fluctuations, they are not random. It's as if the star itself is communicating, or testing us." Engineer Daro Khan frowned. "Testing us? It's a star, Aeliana. Stars don't test anyone." "Maybe this one does," she said quietly, almost to herself. Her eyes shone with a mixture of fear and wonder. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The control room shook violently as a wave of energy surged through the shields. Lights flickered, and the crew gripped their stations. "Report," Captain Voss commanded. Sensors indicated a massive energy pulse radiating from the Eternal Light. It was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, an immense, rhythmic pulse that seemed almost alive. It's drawing us in," Kiran said, voice tight. "The star's gravity alone shouldn't be able to affect us like this." Aeliana's mind raced. She had read the reports of the Starward, remembered the faint signals that had come before it vanished. And now, it seemed history was repeating itself. "Prepare for manual navigation," she ordered. "We're going to have to steer ourselves through this. Automatic systems won't be enough." The crew worked in tense synchronization, the ship twisting and turning through invisible currents of energy. Dr. Morris adjusted the quantum sensors, trying to find a pattern in the pulses.
"It's almost musical," she murmured.
"Like each wave carries a tone, a resonance.
"If we can match it."
"Match it?" Engineer Khan repeated, incredulous. "Yes," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "If we can synchronize our shields with the star's energy, we might be able to pass through safely." Captain Voss made a quick decision. "Do it. All hands, follow Lena's instructions. We either adapt or we don't return at all." The next few minutes felt like hours. Every crew member held their breath as the ship trembled under the star's power. Then, slowly, the violent pulses began to harmonize with the Odyssey's shields. The shaking subsided, and the star's energy flowed around the ship instead of against it. A collective sigh of relief swept through the control room. Yet, despite the triumph, a shadow lingered in everyone's minds. The Star Ward had also survived initial contact, and then vanished. As the Odyssey drew closer, the eternal light's glow intensified, revealing swirling colors and structures that seemed almost artificial. Bridges of light stretched into space, arcs that defied physics, and patterns that hinted at intelligence. Humanity had discovered something truly alive, and possibly sentient.
Captain Voss stared at the vision before her.
"Whatever this is," she whispered, "we are no longer just explorers. We are witnesses to something far beyond human understanding." Dr. Morris smiled faintly. "And perhaps, the Star Ward left a message for us." The crew of the Odyssey held their breath, aware that their journey had truly begun, and that the eternal light might demand more from them than they were prepared to give. The Odyssey floated closer to the glowing structures that seemed to orbit the eternal light. They were not planets, not asteroids, not anything the crew had seen before. Massive, crystalline arcs of light spanned hundreds of kilometers, twisting in ways that challenged physics. The colors shifted, flowing like liquid fire, reflecting off the ship's hull in dazzling patterns. Captain Voss pressed her hand to the console. "Keep scanners running. I want to know if there's life, technology, or any trace of the Star Ward." Dr. Lena Morris leaned over her instruments, eyes wide. "There's definitely energy signatures that match the Star Ward's last readings.
Some of them are still active."
Lieutenant Kiran Elad frowned. "Active?
After all this time?
That ship vanished decades ago." "Yes," Lena whispered.
"But here, it's like the star is preserving it."
"Or maybe sending it back to us." With cautious precision, the Odyssey maneuvered closer to one of the largest arcs. It was enormous, stretching out like a bridge of light that seemed to lead directly into the star itself. As they approached, fragments of metal and debris appeared in the sensors, familiar shapes from the long-lost Star Ward.
Engineer Daro Khan shook his head. "I can't believe it."
Pieces of the Star Ward, intact, but how? Time, energy, gravity, they shouldn't preserve this stuff. Dr. Morris's hands danced over her controls. "The star, it must have some kind of temporal effect. It's keeping these objects in a kind of suspended state."
"They're waiting."
"For what? I don't know." Captain Voss made a decision. "Prepare a retrieval pod. We're going in.
Carefully.
We need to see what remains, and why the Star Ward never returned." The pod detached from the Odyssey, gliding toward the crystalline arc inside. Lena and Kiran guided it with meticulous care. The closer they got, the more surreal the environment became.
Colors shifted in patterns that made their eyes ache.
Sounds hummed faintly, vibrations felt almost alive, and tiny pulses of light ran along the arc's surface, responding to their presence. Then, they saw it. The remains of the Star Ward were suspended in the heart of the structure. Entire sections of the ship were intact, its hull glowing faintly with strange energy. The pod sensors picked up signals, messages trapped in the fragments.
Lena's voice trembled. "They're trying to communicate."
The crew, they left recordings, encoded in the star's energy. It's like a diary, a warning, or maybe a guide. Kiran listened as the faint voices came through the pod speaker.
Distorted, yet clear enough to understand.
"Approaching the star, energy alive, cannot resist. If anyone finds this, follow the pulses, trust the light."
Captain Voss's heart pounded.
The Star Ward crew survived the initial contact, but they never returned.
Something kept them here.
The star didn't destroy them, it trapped them.
Lena nodded.
And now it's giving us the same chance it gave them.
But only if we can understand the patterns. Only if we can communicate with it.
As the pod carefully extracted samples from the starward debris, the star's light pulsed in a rhythmic sequence, almost as if it was observing them. The crew felt a mixture of awe and fear. The eternal light was not a star in the way they had imagined. It was a sentinel, a keeper of secrets, a being that could challenge the very notion of life and time. Back aboard the Odyssey, Captain Voss addressed the crew. "We have the chance to succeed where the starward could not.
But we must be cautious. This star, it tests everything.
Our minds, our courage, our unity."
Engineer Khan grunted.
"Or it could trap us forever too." "Then we make sure we understand it first," Voss said firmly. "We're Voyagers of the eternal light. And we will not be lost." Yet, even as the crew prepared for the next stage of exploration, none could shake the shadow that loomed over them. The fate of the starward was a warning, and the eternal light was only beginning to reveal its mysteries. The Odyssey hovered at the edge of the eternal light's influence, its hull shimmering under the star's radiant glow. Strange currents of energy flowed through space like invisible rivers, and the ship's instruments picked up patterns too complex for any human mind to fully comprehend.
Dr. Lena Morris worked feverishly at the quantum interface. "The star, it's responding," she said, voice trembling.
"Every pulse, every fluctuation, it's a language.
I think
I can start to translate it." Captain Voss approached her, leaning over the console.
"Translate? How?
And is it safe?" Lena shook her head, eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement. "Safe?
I don't know. But it's trying to communicate. It wants us to understand.
Or maybe it wants to test us." As Lena worked, the light around the ship began to pulse in rhythm with her translations. It was subtle at first, then stronger, almost as if the star had become aware of their presence in a conscious way. Then came the first clear message. Not a recording, not a signal, but a voice. Soft, melodic, resonant. Not heard with ears, but felt in the mind. "Travelers, you are here. Why do you come?"
The crew froze. Captain Voss's hand gripped the console. I
don't know if anyone else heard that," she said, voice unsteady. Lieutenant Kiran Elad's eyes were wide. "I heard it. In my head, like it was inside me."
Dr. Morris nodded. "It's not a voice like ours. It's consciousness. The star is alive.
It knows we're here." Engineer Daro Khan muttered. "Great.
A talking star.
What could possibly go wrong?" The voice continued, deeper now, almost gentle. "Many come. Few understand. Starward came, but could not see. Will you?"
Captain Voss squared her shoulders.
"We've come to learn, to explore.
We want to understand you.
To communicate."
A silence followed.
Then, slowly, the light around the Odyssey shifted. Patterns emerged, forming geometric shapes, colors flowing in sequences that carried meaning. Dr. Morris translated them on her console, realizing the star was giving instructions.
To pass, you must synchronize. Mind, heart, purpose. Fear will bind you. Trust will guide you.
The crew looked at one another, a mix of anxiety and determination in their eyes. They had faced cosmic storms, unknown physics, and the mystery of a vanished ship, but now they were being tested on something more profound. Their unity, their courage, and their ability to trust each other. Captain Voss took a deep breath. "Prepare the synchronization protocol. Shields, engines, even the pod interface. We'll align ourselves with the star's pulses. Everyone, focus. Trust in the mission, and in each other." Hours passed as the crew worked in perfect coordination. The ship's shields pulsed in harmony with the star, engines thrummed in resonance, and Lena's quantum interface translated every nuance of the light. Slowly, the sensation of fear ebbed. The star's presence became a rhythm, a song they could move with, rather than resist. Then, the voice spoke again, warmer this time. "You understand. You may see the path, but only if your hearts remain true." Captain Voss nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We will. We are Voyagers of the eternal light. We will honor what you show us." As the crew prepared to move deeper into the star's structures, remnants of the starward still floated in the light around them. They were no longer just relics, they were guides, messages encoded in energy, showing the way forward. Yet, despite their progress, one unshakable truth remained. The eternal light was alive, aware, and it would not reveal all its secrets willingly. The Odyssey had passed the first test, but the greatest challenges still awaited. And somewhere, hidden among the radiant arcs of light, the fate of the Star Ward awaited them. A silent warning of what could happen to those who failed. With the synchronization complete, the Odyssey edged closer to the heart of the eternal light. The arcs of crystalline energy stretched endlessly, forming corridors and bridges of glowing patterns. Colors danced and shifted, guiding the crew forward like living signposts. Captain Voss stood on the bridge, watching the star's beauty unfold.
Steady now. Every movement must be careful.
Remember, the Star Ward did not return.
We cannot afford mistakes.
Dr. Aeliana Voss monitored the energy flows, translating the star's complex pulses into data the crew could act upon. The star, it's alive in a way that adapts.
It learns from us as we move.
Every decision we make, it reacts. It's not just a test of navigation, it's a test of understanding.
Lieutenant Kiran Elad nodded. Then we must think like it thinks, or we'll fail.
The deeper the Odyssey ventured, the more surreal the environment became. Light curved in impossible angles, forming arches, spirals, and spiraling tunnels that seemed to stretch into infinity. Gravity shifted subtly, objects floating with ease. And everywhere, tiny fragments of the Star Ward shimmered in suspended animation, as if offering silent guidance.
Engineer Daro Khan shook his head.
This is insane. How does anything like this exist?
Lena smiled faintly.
It exists because it doesn't follow our rules.
That's why the star is eternal.
That's why the Star Ward disappeared. They tried to force it into their rules.
Suddenly, alarms blared.
Energy surges rippled through the Odyssey, stronger than before.
The star's voice filled their minds again, urgent and resonant.
Fear rises, unity fractures, choose wisely, or be lost. The crew felt the surge like a physical weight, pressing on their minds and bodies. The Odyssey trembled as if resisting the pull of the eternal light.
Captain Voss shouted over the hum of the ship.
Everyone, hold to your stations. Shield synchronization, maximum stability. Lena, can you translate what it wants? Lena's fingers flew across the console.
It's showing us the dangers.
Not just physical, but mental. Fear, doubt, division, they weaken the connection. We have to act as one or the star will reject us.
The crew worked in tense harmony.
Shields pulsed in perfect rhythm with the star, engines adjusted minutely, and even the navigation seemed to flow with the light itself. Slowly, the surges subsided, leaving a quiet calm. Then came a revelation. Patterns in the arcs of light formed into recognizable shapes, holographic echoes of the Starward's crew, moving in synchronized steps. Their actions seemed to convey messages, directions, warnings, instructions. Lena translated as she watched. They are showing us the path through the central corridor, the heart of the star. They were preparing the way, but they couldn't complete it. They are guiding us. Captain Voss felt a mix of awe and determination.
We follow them, carefully,
step by step. As the Odyssey advanced, the structures of light became more intricate. Pulses of energy flowed like rivers, bridges of luminescent arcs connected distant points, and fragments of alien matter shimmered in the corridors. The crew realized that the eternal light was not just a star, it was a vast, sentient network, a being of unimaginable scale and intelligence. Yet, the further they went, the clearer one truth became. They were not just explorers, they were part of the star's test. Every decision, every action, every moment of fear or doubt could determine whether they returned to the universe outside or became another Star Ward, frozen in light forever. Captain Voss turned to her crew. We are Voyagers of the eternal light. Whatever comes next, we face it together.
Trust in each other. Trust in the light.
This is our path forward. And with that, the Odyssey pressed onward into the unknown, deeper than any human had ever traveled. Toward the very core of a living star, the Odyssey drifted closer to the heart of the eternal light. The light around them became almost tangible, shifting and flowing like liquid, filling the corridors with colors and patterns that defied logic. The ship's hull glimmered as if it were part of the star itself. Captain Voss addressed her crew over the intercom.
Stay alert. We are entering the central chamber.
This is where the star's intelligence manifests most strongly. Every action matters. Dr. Aeliana Voss studied the energy fields.
The pulses here are massive. They are not just signals, they are thought forms. It's as if the star's mind resides in this core.
Everything we do is being observed and tested. Lieutenant Kiran Elad tightened his grip on the console. I can feel it, like it's reaching into our minds, gauging us. Engineer Daro Khan muttered, Great.
A star reading our thoughts.
What could possibly go wrong? As the Odyssey moved further in, the shapes of light solidified into colossal, geometric structures. Bridges of luminescence arched like gateways, and fragments of the Star Ward floated around them in orderly formations, almost like a gallery of preserved memory. Suddenly, the star's voice resonated more strongly than ever, not in words but as a torrent of thought and emotion.
Why do you come?
What do you seek? Many have sought, few have understood.
Fear binds.
Unity frees. Captain Voss felt the weight of the star's awareness pressing on her mind. We seek understanding, knowledge, and the chance to survive what the Star Ward could not. The light shifted, forming a massive, spiraling vortex at the center of the chamber. Lena's console translated the patterns into coherent data. This is the core.
The energy source.
It's alive, conscious, aware of time itself. It can preserve, protect, or trap. The Odyssey advanced carefully, navigating the energy currents. Each pulse tested the crew's focus and resolve. Memories of loved ones, fears, and doubts surged in their minds, amplified by the star's sentience. Crew members clutched their stations, struggling to maintain control.
Captain Voss's voice cut through the chaos.
Focus.
Trust each other. We survive as a team. That is how we pass.
As they neared the vortex, they saw it, holographic images of the Star Ward's crew, frozen mid-action, their expressions calm yet distant. Lena translated their energy patterns. We tried to take the knowledge, we were unprepared. Only those who synchronize mind, heart, and purpose may proceed. The crew realized that survival required more than skill, it required empathy, courage, and harmony with the star itself. Captain Voss instructed everyone to synchronize with the ship's systems, which had been calibrated to resonate with the star's pulses. Slowly, their mental and emotional states aligned with the eternal light. Then came the revelation. The star's core was not just an energy source, it was a sentient archive of civilizations, a consciousness that had observed countless worlds. It offered knowledge, but only to those it deemed worthy. The voice came again, calm and vast. You understand. You may carry the light beyond this place. But beware, the cost of ignorance is eternal.
Captain Voss nodded. We are ready. We will honor what you show us.
We will not fail. As the Odyssey penetrated the vortex, a rush of energy enveloped the ship. Time, space, and matter seemed to blur. The crew felt knowledge and understanding flood their minds, secrets of physics, energy, and life itself. And yet, beneath the gift, a quiet warning lingered. The light gave freely, but only to those who were united, vigilant, and brave. For the first time, humanity glimpsed the true face of the eternal light, and understood that the journey back would be as perilous as the journey inward. The Odyssey floated within the spiraling core of the eternal light, its hull glowing softly with the star's energy. The crew had absorbed knowledge far beyond anything humanity had imagined. Physics, energy manipulation, and patterns of life flowed through their minds, yet the gift came with a heavy realization. The journey back would be the ultimate test. Captain Voss addressed the crew from the bridge.
We've seen what few could even imagine. But the hardest part is not the approach, it's leaving.
The star allows passage only to those who remain unified and true to purpose. Dr. Lena Morris monitored the energy currents.
The core is shifting. It responds to us still.
If we falter now, the light could trap us forever, like the Star Ward. Lieutenant Kiran Elad adjusted the navigation systems. The exit path isn't a straight line.
The star is alive. It tests cohesion. Every decision we make must be precise.
Any division, any doubt, will be fatal. The Odyssey began to move along the path illuminated by the star. Fragments of the Star Ward floated nearby, forming a luminous guide. But suddenly, one section of the corridor shifted violently. Pulses of energy surged like walls closing in, threatening to crush the ship. Engineer Daro Khan shouted over the alarms.
Shields can't handle this alone.
We need to coordinate every system perfectly. Captain Voss's eyes narrowed. Focus on synchronization. Everyone, trust each other. Lena, adjust the quantum interface. Kian, maintain navigation.
Daro, reinforce the shields with pulse alignment. Now. The crew worked in new perfect harmony.
The ship's shields pulsed with the star, engines matched the energy currents, and Lena's interface translated the light's fluctuations into instructions. Slowly, the violent surges calmed, and the path ahead became clear. The holographic images of the Starward crew appeared once more. Their expressions were serene, guiding the Odyssey through the final obstacles.
Lena deciphered their patterns. Trust the light. Trust each other. Only together may you return. We could not. You can.
Captain Voss felt a weight of responsibility and relief. We honor them. We will succeed where they could not. As the ship followed the final currents of energy, the eternal light pulsed in waves of approval. It was as if the star itself acknowledged their courage and unity. The Odyssey moved faster, gliding through the star's core, and finally, a tunnel of pure radiance opened, a pathway to the outer space beyond.
The crew held their breath.
Outside, the familiar darkness of space waited. The light of distant stars glimmered like beacons, and for a moment, they felt the vastness of the universe embrace them. Then, a soft voice resonated within their minds one last time. You have learned. You have endured. Carry this light beyond, but remember, wisdom requires vigilance, courage, and unity. Fail, and the path closes forever. Captain Voss exhaled slowly. Prepare for exit.
Steady now.
We are leaving, but we carry what we learned. The Odyssey surged forward, passing through the final veil of radiance. The ship emerged into the familiar space of the Terran Alliance, its hull shimmering faintly with the energy it had absorbed. The crew looked at one another, exhausted but triumphant. They had survived the eternal light, uncovered its secrets, and faced the fate that had claimed the Starward. Humanity had gained knowledge and wisdom beyond imagination, but the memory of the star, alive and watchful, would remain with them forever. Dr. Lena Morris smiled, tears in her eyes. And we know the cost, and the gift. We must honor both. The Odyssey set course for home, carrying not only its crew but the legacy of the Starward and the eternal, radiant intelligence that had tested them all. The Odyssey sailed through the void, leaving the eternal light behind. Its glow, once overwhelming, now receded into a distant point of brilliance. The crew was silent for a moment, each lost in reflection. They had survived what the Starward could not, and carried with them the weight of knowledge and responsibility. Captain Voss spoke first, her voice calm but full of reverence.
We have returned, but we are not the same people who left.
The star has changed us, and humanity's future depends on what we do with this knowledge.
Dr. Lena Morris stared at the ship's readings.
The energy we absorbed, it can revolutionize science, medicine, even space travel.
We've glimpsed physics and life in ways no human has before.
But it is not just power, it's understanding. Misuse could be catastrophic. Lieutenant Kiran Elad looked out the viewport at the stars beyond. The Starward warned us through time and space. They failed not because they lacked courage, but because they did not understand the unity required. We survived because we trusted each other. Engineer Daro Khan nodded, exhaustion clear on his face. And because we listened, to the light, to each other, and even to the ghosts of those who came before. That's the real lesson. As the Odyssey approached the Terran Alliance's space, communications teams prepared to relay their arrival. Messages had already spread of the mission, the lost Starward, and now, the successful return of explorers from the Eternal Light. The galaxy waited, unaware of the vast knowledge and experience the crew carried within them. Captain Voss addressed her team one final time. We are Voyagers of the Eternal Light. Our journey has ended, but the responsibility begins. We bring back more than energy and knowledge. We bring wisdom, courage, and unity. Let us honor those who came before and ensure that humanity uses this gift wisely. The Odyssey entered orbit around the central station of the Terran Alliance. The crew disembarked to a world eager to celebrate their return, but more importantly, to learn from their experiences. Scientists, leaders, and explorers gathered to hear the story of a star that was alive, a ship that never returned, and the Voyagers who had succeeded where others had failed. Dr. Morris presented her findings to the Council. The Eternal Light is not merely a star, it is sentient, eternal, and capable of immense knowledge. It communicates in pulses of energy, testing all who approach it. Those who survive gain insight far beyond our current understanding. But the key is unity, trust, and courage. Without these, the star claims its explorers forever. The Council listened, awe and caution in their eyes. Humanity now held the blueprint for a future shaped by a living star. But they also carried the warning: greatness came with responsibility. Captain Voss returned to the observation deck, looking at the stars that had once seemed distant and unknowable.
She smiled softly. The Star Ward showed us the price of hubris.
The eternal light showed us the path of wisdom. Humanity has much to learn, and much to protect. As the crew of the Odyssey continued their work, preparing to share the secrets of the eternal light, the star itself pulsed faintly from light years away. Its voice, once heard only in thoughts, now seemed to linger as a memory, a promise that knowledge, courage, and unity would guide those who dared to venture into the infinite. And so, the Voyagers of the Eternal Light returned not just as explorers, but as the guardians of a secret older than humanity itself, a secret that would shape the destiny of countless worlds, and remind all who look to the stars that some journeys demand more than bravery. They demand trust, wisdom, and the courage to embrace the unknown. The Odyssey had returned. Humanity had changed forever. And the eternal light awaited the next voyages.